Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach double honors unto the elders and apostles of great millstone that rule well. Shalom to all the Akim that are teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. I am the brother Caleb from the GMS England, and the forecasters camp back with another lesson to help edify the Lord's elect. Also, I'd like to make mention of Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and to the other members of the elect, 1/3 that are destined to be saved. Shalom to you all. We are the real Hebrew Israelites. The real Israelites, is so-called Hebrews, the real Israelites, is so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. But you will find Israelites that do look like the other nations, because we as a people have been scattered amongst all nations through our various captivities. But if you see land by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like, because Numbers 1:18 states your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So I had this article that was sent by one of the elders of the camp I'm in. I'm going to read it here because it's a very interesting article. It says, it's from the People's Voice. It says, EU chief says public who refuse WEF, which is World Economic Forum's digital IDs, will be excluded from society. We already knew this to be the case, but as we get closer and closer to the implementation of the mark, articles like this are going to be made more public, because they want the people to know that it's either you get down or you get put down. That's the way Esau's moving. He ain't looking to compromise when it comes to his new world order, so he's going to go all in with this wickedness in order to promote his agenda, which is to have everyone chipped with the implantable RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast according to Revelation chapter 13, starting at verse 16 on down. So we read this article. It says, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has warned that people who refuse to accept the WEF's new digital ID scheme will be excluded from participating in society. So, as I said, we already knew this to be the case, but let's read this. It says, during an appearance at the G20 summit session dubbed One Future, which sounds like, Tower of Babel, let's all have one consent to build a tower into heaven. I'll get that later. Von der Leyen declared our collective future to be digital, governed by globalist organizations such as the WEF. Summit News reports von der Leyen, in her position as EU Commission President, touched on AI and the digital landscape in her address. She acknowledged the potential dangers and gargantuan opportunities linked with advancing AI technology, and emphasized the importance of channeling such explosive technology. Today I want to focus on AI, which is artificial intelligence, and digital infrastructure. As it has been described, AI has risks, but also offers tremendous opportunities. The crucial question is how to harness a rapidly changing technology. In the EU in 2020, we presented the first ever law on artificial intelligence. We want to facilitate innovation while building trust, but we need more. What the world does now will shape our future. I believe that Europe and its partners should develop a new global framework for AI risks, von der Leyen said. So here she is, that woman in the white there. The future is digital. I passed 2 messages to the G20. We should establish a framework for safe, responsible AI with a similar body to the IPCC for climate. Digital public infrastructure and acceleration of growth. This must be trusted, interoperable, and open to all. Von der Leyen praised the European Union's move in 2020 to introduce the first legal framework on AI, a step taken with the intent of fostering innovation alongside trust. However, she insisted that this wasn't sufficient. She suggested a multinational adoption of a coping mechanism for managing AI risks. The EU chief also stressed that globally accepted standards must be created under the new purview of the United Nations, akin to their intergovernmental panel on climate change. Humanity stood to benefit, she argued. Lofty words. If international authority could clarify the risks and rewards related to AI akin to the IPCC for climate concerns. Concurrently, von der Leyen championed the concept of digital public infrastructure similar to the C19 passport system, a system developed by the EU as a response to the C19 saga. The World Health Organization embraced it with open arms as a global standard for combating health threats. Many of you are familiar with the C19 digital certificate. The EU developed it for itself. The model was so functional and so trusted that 51 countries on 4 continents adopted it for free. So we talked about this at the time, man. How those passports were a trial for their eventually implementation of the chip, which is the MOTB. It says, today the WHO uses its global standard to facilitate mobility in times of health threats, von der Leyen continued. Alarmingly, von der Leyen praised the EU's strides towards a block-wide digital identity app capable of storing a citizen's personal information, including credit cards, driver's license, and passport data. These developments ring alarm bells for individuals and nations valuing free speech and privacy. That's the end of the article, but basically, it's just another sign of another case of Esau saber rattling that is moving towards implementation of his mark, and he's trying to get people to mentally come to the conclusion that it's either you take the mark or you're excluded from society, which is how he's going to play it, and we're going to have to ride that out, because that's going to be the hour of temptation that's going to come on earth to try all men. The trial is whether or not you take that mark. So what we pray is that the Lord preserves us from that mark, because it's all good and well to say, yeah, I'm never going to take the mark, yeah, I'm going to dip out the window, whatever shit you say now, but we'll see how your ass moves in the hour of temptation, because what you must remember is that man's goings are of the Lord. Then how can a man understand his own way? The Most High could have you feel confident now, and then root all of that confidence out of you when Esau pushes the mark, and you could be the first in line to get chipped, man. God forbid that be the case, but that's why we have to do the works now, which is to show ourselves diligent, occupied in prophecy. We're doing these works now, so that Lord willing, when the hour of temptation comes, the Most High, Yahweh or Yahweh Shai, will remember our good works and will defend us in that time and preserve us from the said evils. That's even a precept. Let me get a precept here. Yeah, this is it. Well, this isn't exactly the one I wanted, but it's a good one. Psalms 97 and verse 10. It says, ye that love Yahweh hate evil. He preserveth the souls of the saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. That's a good one, man. Psalms 97 and 10. Again, ye that love Yahweh hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints and delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. Yeah, this is another good one. This is some killer precepts here, man. See, these are good precepts to read when you hear articles like that from the WHO trying to instill fear in the people. Because a lot of the people are going to be afraid of Esau and afraid of the WHO and afraid of being excluded from society. And they're not going to have any reason not to take the chip. You see, that's the thing. The vast majority of the world does not have a reason not to take the chip. So when pressure comes, they're going to take it. But we're supposed to be wiser, as wise as serpents and harmless as doves, and to be circumspect because our adversary, the devil, goeth about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So these precepts that I'm bringing out here, these are great ones to meditate on and to boost one's faith that the Lord will indeed preserve us in that time of trouble. This is Psalms 121, verse 7, and it says, the Lord Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thy going in and thy coming. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forevermore. That is a good. This whole psalm is a really good one, man. Really, really good one. I'm going to read it all because it's all good meat. Psalms 121, verse 1. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He will keep thee. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord Yahweh is thy keeper. The Lord Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Another precept I'm going to pull here. Psalms 140 verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, it says, Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their hearts, which continually are gathered together for war. Those are the Edomites, man. It says, They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. An adder's poison is under their lips, Selah. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. And what did the World Health Organization say? They said those people that don't comply, that don't get down with the digital ID system, which is essentially the MOTB system, they're going to be excluded from society. So that's basically Esau trying to overthrow our goings. He's going to try and come down in a way that means that you can't operate on a basic fundamental level necessary for life on this earth. For example, you're not going to be able to go to supermarkets to buy food. You're not going to be able to access your bank account. You're not going to be able to pay your mobile phone bill, because if you ain't able to access your bank account, how are you going to pay your mobile phone bill? So that means you're probably going to be excluded from the internet, because if you can't pay your phone bill or your internet service provider, you're going to be locked off the internet. So you can't buy food, you can't access information, you're not going to be able to make phone calls with the phone because your phone's going to be locked off due to you not being able to pay your contract. Then it's going to get down to the point where you're probably not going to be able to pay your rent, so they're going to be threatening you with eviction. What else have we got? You're not going to be able to travel on public transport because essentially you're not going to be able to pay. And the Oyster system is going to be transferred over to the MOTB system soon enough. And without that mark, you're not going to be able to swipe to go through the barriers at train stations and travel on public buses. They might even exclude you from even setting foot in certain premises because you don't have a digital ID. For example, a lot of recreational things like going to restaurants or going to the cinema, just like when the C119 thing was in full effect, they weren't letting you go cinema. They won't let you go to restaurants and sit down and eat and shit. You had to give your fucking name and address and all this bullshit. They're gonna. That's the times they're coming into. So it's gonna be very, very difficult, very trying, and a lot of people are gonna buckle at that hurdle because if you're not deeply rooted in this truth, you're gonna give into your carnality, and you'll take it. I mean, there's a lot of guys that will take that chip and probably still turn around and come to camp and still standing on the street cursing out Esau, talking shit, when they've already done taking the mark themselves, where they'll be pretending, thinking that there's some way, somehow they can find a loophole in the scriptures to be able to still make it, even having taken the mark. But you can't take that mark and make it, man. The separation is clear. Revelation 14th chapter goes into the judgment that shall come upon those that take the mark. In Revelation, is it 14 at the beginning? Talks about the 144,000 which had not taken the mark. nor worship the image of the beast. I want to stay on these precepts about the law preserving us, because there's more. This is Proverbs 16 and 17. It's a good one. Oh, I don't know if I even finished this. Let me finish this one first, because there's more meat, it seems. Then I'll go into the next precept. Psalms 140 verse 4. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me and cords. See this whole digital ID system is a snare and a net, and a lot of Jake are going to get taken in it. The proud have hid a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me, Selah. I said unto Yahweh, thou art my God. Hear the voice of my supplication, O Yahweh. O Most High God, the Lord, the strength of my salvation, thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Yahweh, the desires of the wicked. Further not the wicked device, lest they exalt themselves, Selah. This is a brilliant psalm to read. Psalms 140. As for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. And what will those burning coals be? Those missiles. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits, that they rise not up again. So that's going to happen to Esau in due time. He's going to be destroyed, completely wiped off the face of the earth. Pertaining to Obadiah, is it 1 and 18? Let not the evil speaker be established in the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that Yahweh will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor. So who are the poor and the afflicted in this society? The Israelites, man. We're the ones catching all the curses. We're the ones that all the other nations hate and despise us and ill-treat us. It says, surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence. Beautiful psalm. See what else I've got here. Proverbs 16 and 17 says this. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. It's beautiful. That's beautiful. Proverbs 16 and 17. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. And that reminds me of Micah 2 and verse 10, which I'll get next. So it says, the highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. This is Micah chapter 2 verse 10, which links to that beautifully. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. So we've got to mentally arise and spiritually arise and depart from this society. We can't trust under the shadow of Egypt. We can't trust in Esau, because even if we did trust in Esau, Sirach 12 and 10 tells you to never trust your enemy. It's Esau's desire and intention to wipe Jacob off the face of the planet. And those that he can't wipe off the face of the planet, he wants to get them microchipped so that they will be forever slaves and servants under Esau. But we're actually slaves and servants under Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And that's the side that we have to remain on. And we're going to have to fight to maintain that faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai when the hour of temptation comes, which is when the mark is implemented. Right? So, another good one, it would be 2 Timothy 4 and 18. This says, and the Lord shall deliver me from every evil work, and will preserve me unto his heavenly kingdom, whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. Let's read this again. Let me read from verse 17. 2 Timothy 4:17. Notwithstanding, the Lord stood with me and strengthened me, that by me the preaching might be fully known, and that the Gentiles might hear, and I was delivered out of the mouth of the lion. So when Esau comes down with great wrath, we want to be delivered out of his mouth, you know. The Lord shall deliver me from every evil work, and will preserve me unto his heavenly kingdom, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. Let's read that again. And the Lord shall deliver me from every evil work. So Esau's intentions with this mark, you know, this thing inserted, the charagma, that's an evil work. But the Lord will deliver me from every evil work, and will preserve me unto his heavenly kingdom. So to be preserved from the hour of temptation, to be preserved for the mark, means that you're being preserved for the kingdom. And that's beautiful, because we want to be of that number, you know, of the 144,000 and of the hopeful elect that's able to enter into the kingdom on foot, rather than having to, you know, die on this side and come back again in the reincarnation through the loins of the elect. We want to be worthy to enter into the kingdom, you know, directly. We want to be worthy of that. Now, some of us will be made martyrs, but that's known. But if you're martyred for the sake of Yahweh and the gospel, then that is an instant crown, you know. So you can enter in through martyrdom or through salvation. So one of those two options. There is no option 3. There is no plan B. Say that again. There is no option 3, and there is no plan B when it comes to this truth and overcoming this world. So let's read Revelation 13 for clarification and edification's sake, and then I might close this one out. So Revelation 13, starting at verse 16. And it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. What did the World Economic Forum say? Let's get it again. It says, EU chief says public who refuse WEF's digital IDs will be excluded from society. So that's what we're reading right there. It says in verse 17, Revelation 13:17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So Lord willing, that's been an edifying lesson. Put some very edifying precepts in there about being preserved from evil by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. So Lord willing, that was edifying. With that, giving once again all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and shalom unto the other members of the elect. And I'm out for this one. I'll catch you on the next. As always, shalom, wa abba, wa kum shalom.